Bismillah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. My name is Afram Asna. I'm a grade 11 software engineering student, and this is where we record of our Backpacker 20 country program for almost a full year. Our school swept the classroom for world. Our mission was to analyze how the global system, technological, social, and cultural function in real time. As I developed, I didn't just see landmarks, I saw infrastructure and logic. This is the story of how I adapted my workflow and my mindset to 20 different environments across the globe. Let's start in Malaysia. I'll be honest, my first section is of this talk usually start with how relaxed I was. I thought it would be the Indonesia 2.0, but the moment I hit Kuala Lumpur, I saw a different level of systemic optimization, rail and buses, networks, eh, are a masterclass in orbit efficiency. I studied in Taman Mawadi Park, balancing my physical exploration with hours at my laptop, maintaining my Flutter and Laravel projects, visiting the International Islamic University, Batu Cave, and Batu Cave told me that even a close neighbor can offer a completely different blueprint for how a society is managed. It was my first lesson in modern efficiency. Then came Egypt. If Malaysia was organized, Cairo was a dynamic chaos. It was a total system shock, loud, crowded, and buzzing with an energy that demands you constant attention. It challenged my ability to stay focused and productive in a high pressure environment. Standing at the pyramid of Giza, I saw the ultimate legacy code that engineering that has lasted thousands of years. In Morocco, the challenge was linguistic. Moving through Casablanca and Rabat had navigated a blend of Arabican, African, and French. It forced me to cognitively flexible, switching languages just as I switch between programming frameworks. Visiting the Indonesia embassy in Rabat was a grounding moment of pride in the middle of a very diverse land. Entering Europe, I started in the Netherlands. I was fascinated by their bicycle culture, a perfectly functioning system for urban mobility. In Amsterdam and Volendam, I saw how a country can stay rooted in history while maintaining a clean, modern design. In Germany, specifically Aachen, I saw the ghost center of reliability the transportation system. There is a machine like if a train is a schedule for a specific minute, it arrives. As a developer, I deeply appreciate that zero logic. Praha was a fairy tale of stone streets, but a linguistic maze. Well, Australia told me about social boundaries and the discipline of city where everything closes early, requiring rigorous personal time management. Then we moved to through Slovakia and Hungary, where the massive scale of the Hungarian parliament in Budapest reminded me of the grandeur human engineering can achieve. Serbia was full of unexpected warmth and hospitality In Belgrade, Bulgaria was the hidden gem. Sofia is a fascinating mix of old Soviet era remnants and ancient history. Praying at the Bulgaria was the hidden gem. Sofia is a fascinating mix of old Soviet era remnants and ancient history. Praying at the 16th century Banyabash Mosque was a deeply reflective moment. Then we move on to the Turkey. Turkey served as the ultimate intersection. Istanbul is a city on two continents. It bridges the ancient and the modern. You see a 500-year-old monument standing right next to the tech cafe full of people on their MacBooks. Is a perfect metaphor for our world. One foot in history, one foot in the future. The spiritual heart of the journey was Saudi Arabia. Visiting Medina and Mecca was a like a system reset. Medina has a calm I've never felt elsewhere, and seeing the Kaaba in Mecca for the first time was the most humbling, also grounding experience of my life. From the desert, from the desert, we went to the roof of the world in Nepal, seeing the Himalayas and the Mount Everest from the plane window was a perspective shift. Kathmandu is a sensory explosion, like colorful, authentic, and completely outside my comfort zone. It pushes my limit and left me with a profound appreciation for human resilience. After Nepal, we landed in Thailand. Because we were arriving during Ramadan, the experience became deeply personal. We stayed in the Ramkhamhaeng area, right near the local malls. Every evening at iftar, the community provided free food and snack. Sitting there, sitting there, surrounded by the local Muslim community, it truly felt like home. The distance from Indonesia disappeared through shared faith. During the days, I hit like MBK Center, Siam Square, and Icon Siam. To be honest, as someone who knows the most of Jakarta, it didn't feel new or cool in terms of tech. It was like being back in Jakarta. There was a strange comfort in that walking through this as if luxury complexes and realizing the urban vibe in Bangkok is almost mirror image of back home. The transition to Laos was the most complicated part. We stayed by the train, expecting a smooth crossing, but we had wall at the border. The immigration process person was a total mess, and we got completely stuck. We had to pivot instantly, abandoning our plane and rerouting to the normal border crossing used by car and buses. It was a long, frustrating rain. The heat, the crowd, the slow manual bureaucracy of the bus lanes. It wasn't a scenic rival we wanted, but it was a raw lesson in real world logistic. Sometimes the primary system fails, and you just have to find a way through the manual lane. The ref and loud, exhausted and stressed, but we had made it through. We had survived almost 20 country journey from the logic Germany to the chaos of Laos border, and I came out of a bit better person and more resilient. I think that's all.